On this episode of Upcoming Attractions, we've got trailers for The Offer, Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Plus, our film discussions for Gold, House of Gucci, Red Rocket, and Nightmare Alley. Plus, TV talks about Murderville, All of Us Are Dead, and the Book of Boba Fett. All this and more on Upcoming Attractions. G'day gang, welcome back to Upcoming Attractions. As always, I'm your host, Matt Vella, and with me, like always, are my co-host, Adrienne.
Hey, hey.
And Jesse.
Okay, guys.
Oh, look at us, all single file, lined up, ready to go for another episode talking about films, television, and more. If it's your first time here on the podcast, be sure to give us a listen on iTunes or Spotify, or watch the video version on YouTube. And if you want to be up to date, watch your little clips and see this all pieced together without all the ums and ahs, be sure to check out the highlights on Instagram and TikTok at Upcoming Attractions. Now the plugs are out of the way. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about some TV. Actually, let's kick things off. 80, you were telling me off air that you've seen All of Us Are Dead, which is currently, I believe, number one on Netflix.
Yes.
Am I missing out?
Yeah, I think you are missing out, actually.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's number one in most countries right now. It's just, look, Korea is absolutely taking over, like the zombies in the show, but you definitely should watch it. It's actually such an amazing cast. They're incredible actors, and what I like the most about it is that there's not one single hero that guides you through the story. Everyone has their flaws. Everyone's sort of like a normal messed up teenager going through the motions, and no one is safe. So it's sort of Game of Thrones-esque in that way. You just don't know who's going to survive, which I really like because I feel like zombie flicks should be that way. You should be on edge all the time. And it's kind of nice to not have one main character who's so perfect throughout the whole thing, or the only like voice of morality. I like that they're all really flawed. Also, the makeup is insane. It's actually so disgusting. Like sometimes it makes me feel really queasy. But mad respect, because that's what you want when you go into a zombie flick. And this TV show is just incredible. I would give it, I'm almost finished. I tried to binge the whole thing in one sitting, as I usually do, but it got a bit too late. So I've got like 2 episodes left, and I was on the edge of my seat. I'm really loving it.
I think with zombie shows and movies, it's funny. It's like a genre, but it's got its own like subgenres now. Like,
yeah.
Would you say, is it more like horror based or more like action thriller? Or
Ooh, I'd say actually, for me, it felt a bit more horror based,
Right.
with a bit of action. Every now and then there's a bit of a joke, but it's quite a serious show on the most part.
Dope. Yeah, I can't stress to you how over I am zombie comedies.
I love
they are
them.
they're so done to death now. It's like look, there's some great ones, like obviously
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead, hello, but oh my god, there's so many. And
This one's refreshing. You'll really
Is
like it? Trust me. Yeah.
I kind of got a bit over
Yeah.
the zombie thing. I don't know. After Walking Dead, I'm just like, I'm so
Okay,
over it.
Walking Dead has been drilling you with just too much for way too long.
Yeah.
This is so different.
actually, that's a question in this. Here's a trope that a lot of zombie movies have now. A lot of shows and movies, they won't call them zombies. They'll have their own special name. Do they have a special name for the zombies in this, or do they call them zombies?
No, they don't have a special name.
The actual zombies. Okay.
They sort of want to say it in the beginning, but I think everyone's too scared to acknowledge that could actually be what's happening. But then they do just admit it. There's no like special name or anything.
Right. Okay.
Another thing that I like as well though is that it's a one location show. So when the breakout happens, it starts and continues within the school grounds. So it takes a while for the public to believe them. There's one character who's live, like Facebook living the whole experience from within the town, and everyone's commenting like, good acting, bro. Like, yeah, trying to convince us that this is real, but it actually is. So they're trapped in so many ways. It's good.
So All of Us Are Dead, they're trapped in a school within the zombie apocalypse, right?
So they're trapped in their school because Patient Zero was one of the students, and it was caused by one of the science teachers.
Right.
So yeah, this mouse got infected and it bit one of the girls. And the thing is, he was sort of experimenting with this virus, and his son, it was to help his son come out of like a bullying spell, but it backfired. So that, he was experimenting with the mice, and then this mouse bit the girl, and it just spirals from there. So it all starts within the school, and this handful of students that somehow managed to keep going. It is terrifying because it doesn't matter how many windows you climb out of or what rooms you get into, they're fully surrounded.
Yeah. Man, so All of Us Are Dead, it's the exact same plot of, okay, so back in the day, back in high school, my mate and I discovered this anime called High School of the Dead. And there's this Japanese anime, and it was pretty cool. It's about a high school. They're trapped in a high school. There's zombies everywhere. There's a character who's like obsessed with playing games like Call of Duty, so we'd laugh at him. Sounds great. The only catch is, it's basically a softcore hentai porn.
Oh,
and it's like,
okay.
Yeah, because it'd be a normal show, and we're like, you're there for the zombies. Like, oh, cool, they're fighting zombies. But out of nowhere, like, every character has very accentuated assets, let's say.
Yeah.
To a point, it's like
I
no one in
see.
high school looks like that. And then all of a sudden they'll be shooting zombies, like, oh, cool. And then all of a sudden this really inappropriate upskirt shot. And I just went, oh man, and I was talking to my mate the other day about it actually, and he was like, I started watching it and I was like, he watches anime with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I was like, we should watch this cool zombie anime. And then like he's watching it the whole time cringing, like, I swear it wasn't this perverted when I watched it back in the day.
This is not perverted. It's a very prestigious school, so
Yeah,
they're
Japan's
all
just fucked.
very proper. Yeah. Yeah. They take it a bit too far.
Nah, yeah, but look, it was a good concept for a show, and I'm sure the same is with this one. I gotta check it out.
Is it?
I'm
should.
just
Is the outbreak just at the school? Or?
Yes, but it's spreading.
So
one or two people will sort of get out, or you just have to watch it. You'll have to watch it.
cool. Moving on to another show on Netflix, one that both Adi and I have seen, Murderville, starring Will Arnett. Adi, do you want to like sort of break down the concept of this show?
Yes. So, Murderville follows a homicide detective who has to solve a murder every episode, but his assistant detective is always a celebrity who's improving on that episode for the entire show. So they have no idea what the script is. They have no idea what's going to happen. They just have to improv their way through the episode.
Yeah, it's cool. So like everybody's got a script except the celebrity guest. And what's actually really fun is like at the end of the episode, they've got to like guess the killer. And then they get to find out if they're right or wrong. And I'm finding it really fun watching it. I binged it all yesterday. It was really short. It's really fun trying to guess the killer, and I'm telling you, I've been wrong almost every time. I'm not a good detective, dude. I got it right, I think, once. But what's cool is like you don't realize how many clues there are, and it's not just clues to the killer; it's clues to who's not the killer. Sometimes, I think it's a really cool concept for a show, but I'm going to be a little critical here. I think a lot of the guests are not strong improv actors. And to work with that is they handhold the actors through the scenes a lot. So there's not a lot of great comedic moments. I will highlight a few that stood out to me though. Surprisingly, Conan O'Brien is not one of the highlights for me.
No way! I actually really enjoyed him. I thought he was so funny.
I like the scene where he has to like explain to the girl that the magician's dead. I thought that was funny, but like the best ones for me so far, Kumail Nanjiani, like
he's great.
He kills it. He's so funny. He actually like, you can tell he's like some points. It feels like he's trying to get out of the script to like give people shit. There's a pro NFL footballer. His name is, I think it's Marshawn. I think it is. He's like in the Marshawn Lynch. There it goes. He's in the second episode, and he's just like, he's not taking it seriously at all. I just love it. But weirdly, my favorite Ken Jeong from Hangover and Community fame.
So good.
What I love about him is every other guest tries to like
act as
stay
well.
in character.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. Like he laughs through every scene, even when they're not telling jokes. He's laughing at him. He's like falling on the ground. He won't stop. And for some reason, because he keeps breaking character, it keeps making me laugh too. And
It's so good. Oh my God. I love
You could
him.
argue technically he is the worst improv actor, but that somehow makes him the funniest.
Somehow, like breaking that fourth wall, it's just hilarious. I think if the show gets a chance to keep going and they can get bigger people and bigger comedians to come on, then it'll progressively just get better. But I do agree.
Yeah.
Like my one criticism was it just did feel a bit weaker. And Will Arnett he's one of my favorite comedians of all time. I'll watch anything with him in it. And I would love to see.
Actually, in the first episode where he makes Conan break, that's pretty cool. When he's like acting all surprised at the magic tricks. When Conan's like, he's like, no one should be this surprised.
That was really good.
That was pretty good.
There were so many moments like that. I don't know if you know this actually, but this show is based on a BBC show called Murder in Successville, based on the same premise. So this actually comes from that. I want to watch the British one because I'd love to see how like brutal and different they would be with this.
Please do Jimmy Carr as an episode. I would love to see Jimmy Carr.
I have no idea, but I would
Gervais.
love that. Oh my God. See, like that's where we want to get with this.
Yeah.
And they can do it.
Oh, for sure. And look, like, I'm not surprised. Like this has, Thank God You're Here. Do you remember that show? Written all over it.
Best show ever.
It's like, imagine Thank God You're Here, but like they've got better camera angles and more dramatic music and
a higher budget. Yeah.
I actually was like fan casting season 2 as I was watching it. I'm like, Ben Schwartz needs to be on this. Thomas Middleditch. Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz have a 3-episode long comedy special on Netflix called Middleditch and Schwartz, and it's the best funniest improv I've ever seen.
Okay.
Obviously, Kristen Bell. Wait, who's the one?
Kristen
from
Wiig.
The Good Place. Is it
Kristen Bell. Kristen Bell.
Yeah, Kristen Bell. I've seen her do improv with this House of Lies show once, and
she was good.
She's really good improviser. Yeah. But yeah, I'd say those 3. I really want them in season 2. Yeah, really funny. I really enjoyed it, and yeah,
it was great.
Before we move on, I'd just like to address the book of Boba Fett. Right now, there's a clip blowing up on TikTok, and we got a lot of people mad at me. And I'd say, fucking bring it, bro. Like I stand my ground. People are like, "Oh, he's because my criticism is like they've kind of just they've taken all the mystery and the personality, and they've sort of flipped on his head." And I get it. Like I just want to say I get why they did that, right? They wanted to have some character development. They want to tell a story, but the character development, when we meet him, it's already happened. We get told the character development through a series of flashbacks throughout 4 episodes. And then, and I'll also say he's been around for 40 years. This character has not just been in 8 minutes of screen time of the trilogy. He's been in comics. He's been in video games. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Didn't Disney nerf all that stuff? I mean, like, I remember they had the, like, Star Wars used to have the, like, expanded universe, and then Disney's like, nah, all that stuff's just, like, nerf. No, it's not canon.
Okay.
And
technically, yes. Technically, they uncanonized a bunch of it and called it Legends. But that does not mean the character has not existed. We have memories, we have expectations of the character, and I don't like that they've just gone, hey, remember all these memorable moments you've grown up? Remember how you've grown up with this character for 40 years? Fuck that shit. Now he's a bitch. Like, that's what it feels like.
I would argue as well, because I remember some people in the comments were like saying, oh, you know, he's only in 8 minutes of the original trilogy.
Yeah,
and
I saw that too.
He's got a mask on and everything, and you can't tell anything about him. I would argue you could still tell a bit about him just through his body language and the way in which he speaks. You can tell he's been doing this for a long time. He's ruthless, you know, all business. You know, you can still tell traits and personality about Boba, even though it's extremely limited. But people make it as if he's just some sort of faceless character, like, and
that really undermines the character, because he's just a small thing, but there's a reason why he's stuck with so many people. And what I really wanted to talk about was fan expectations. Like, you should be. It's like our conversation about casting Tom Holland as Nate for Uncharted. Yeah, it is a new take on Uncharted. That's fine. But it's not living up to fan expectations. We expect when we see Nate, we see a swashbuckling cowboy Han Solo type, not a little kid who acts like Peter Parker. Which is
another controversial TikTok we had, and people commented as if we didn't know already that it was a prequel series. I'm like saying, well, if Tom Holland is supposed to be 15? Is he supposed to be 25? Because if he's 25, he'd be the same size as if he was 35. If he was 15, then why is he in bars and clubs and shit? Like,
which is totally valid, completely valid.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I love the fact that we're just talking shit in our TikTok followers right now.
Well, actually, I would like to say, I got a few pieces of backlash about not enjoying Lin-Manuel Miranda's music, but I am not alone.
That was hilarious.
So many people dislike Hamilton and are not fans, and all I have to say is, like, surely out there's an artist or a band that you just don't enjoy. Same thing. Don't hate the guy, just not a fan.
About that Encanto clip, I could not believe. First, like, because my reaction is based on everybody loves him, and then just seeing all these comments pop up, just saying like, "Yeah, I don't like him either." I was just like, "What?"
I'm not alone.
To go back to Book of Boba Fett, the thing I wanted to bring up today, because this is just I feel like this kind of proves my point. So when I talked about that, I talked about the first 4 episodes. Okay, since then we've seen episodes 5 and 6. And it seems like the writers also got bored with Boba Fett, because episode 5 and 6, he's not in it. Like, he's not in episode 5, and he's in about 10 seconds of episode 6.
Why?
Can you explain? Like, what is...
Okay, so what they do... Oh my god. So basically they're like, fuck this show. Now it's Mandalorian Season 3. And all of episode 5 is literally where we left off in Season 2. And it's without a doubt the best episode of the show. Maybe the best Star Wars episode of any show. It's incredible. We got the Mandalorian walk around with a fucking dark lightsaber that he got off fucking Gus Fring. And, from season 2. Yeah, that guy who plays Gus Fring,
Giancarlo Esposito.
Giancarlo Esposito. He's the big bad in season 2. I think he's in a little bit of season 1, and he's like a Sith. And Mando beats him and gets his like special lightsaber, which is apparently from the comics or whatever.
Is he dead?
Oh fuck, I think so. Oh, someone's gonna abuse me for this. It was a year ago since I've seen it. I'm pretty sure he's dead because he got his lightsaber. But anyways, the episode's awesome, and at the end he's like, "Oh, I've got to go." Like, pretty much he gets hired by Boba Fett, and you go, "Okay, so now we're going to continue with the show." Then episode 6 comes along, and by the way, major spoilers. I'm gonna just rip in spoilers here. Episode 6 comes along, and they're like, "No, still fuck Boba Fett." It's another Mandalorian episode. Boba's in it for about 5 seconds, and it's about him going, "Before I help Boba, I've got to go get back Grogu, Baby Yoda." And so he visits this planet where he's training with Luke Skywalker, who is in like half the episode.
What?
Yeah, a de-aged. So at the end of season 2, a de-aged Luke Skywalker, like Mark Hamill, looking like he's in his 20s, comes out and he like takes Baby Yoda to train him to become a Jedi.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it destroyed the internet. But then what we no one saw coming is in Book of Boba Fett, they were like, "Fuck Boba Fett," and then they hang out. Oh yeah, and some guy who was like a fan. He like took the footage on YouTube and like improved the graphics, and then Lucasfilm hired the guy to work for them because like, you did a better job than we did with deep fakes.
Does he look good? So, does Luke Skywalker look good? Because I remember they did that sort of stuff in Rogue One, and it kind of looked a bit off. They did it with what's his face, Tarkin on the Death Star.
Yeah, Tarkin, and they did it with Leia. They're getting better. Like, it's still not at the end of season 2. It was like a little. But they did a good job because they actually got the voice as well. and the voice would sound all right. And what they've done now, it's even better now. They've got a lookalike who's there. Then they have a deep fake of Luke's face on top of it. And then get this, to do the voice, I think last season they had Mark Hamill do it. But now what they do is through this AI tech, they've got all the ADR from every take from the first 3 movies. They've got a book, like an audio book Mark Hamill recorded back then, some other stuff, and they can like literally just type words.
Wow.
And a young Mark Hamill can say
That
it.
Wow.
is incredible.
That's insane.
It is. The only thing it can't really do well is emotion. But because now it's like, it's after Return of the Jedi, this is Luke as a Jedi Master. Half the time he's fucking meditating. He kind of doesn't need most of the emotion.
Yeah.
So
It actually
occasionally,
works.
so I think they struggle with the inflections, but the way they do it in this episode, he's training. So basically, he's training Yoda. Like, it's not Yoda, but looks like Yoda. So he's training Yoda. He's doing all this cool Force stuff. Like, he's awesome. And at the end of the episode, it's like you have to choose if you want the path of Jedi, path of Mandalorian. You can go help your friend, and you can take this like special Mandalorian armor he's built for you, or you can have this lightsaber which used to belong to Master Yoda, who we thought was the last of your race, and you can have Yoda's lightsaber, but you can only have one, and then like it ends on that cliffhanger. Ooh. But the CGI, like, he's a little stiff at times, but like even like when the lips move, it's pretty good. Like, some people are speculating that maybe they're trying to. This might be a testing the waters for a Luke Skywalker show.
Yeah, like a prequel series.
Is that
origin
if they
do
story.
That's gonna be risky.
I feel like maybe if he wasn't the main character, if he was like a side character, they could maybe get away with it. But it's like the nostalgia is so there. Like, it feels like I'm watching a new Star Wars movie that was actually made 40 years ago, except somehow the CGI is better. It makes no sense. It's crazy. The member berries are very strong.
That sounds really cool, though.
Yeah, it's really exciting, but there's only one episode left of the show. So Boba Fett is only in half of his own fucking show.
Yeah, which says something.
It really feels like, I hate to say it, but it feels like it's bad writing. Like, the show is, like, his character development happened within the first 4 episodes via flashbacks. And then the 2 best episodes are really like episodes that belong in another show. So I really hope with this final episode, they really piece it together. I still enjoy being in this universe. I still love these characters. Even though I've been talking shit about Boba, like, I still like it for the most part. I got real bored in those first couple episodes, to be honest. Yeah. But
I'd love to see a Boba Fett series set just before A New Hope. I reckon that'd be pretty cool.
It was. And look, he was in a few episodes of Mandalorian season 2, and they were great. Okay. If you like Boba Fett, though, watch The Mandalorian, because The Mandalorian acts the way you'd expect
Boba Fett
to do. Yeah. I'm really excited to see what happens at the end of the season, and I'm really looking forward to the Obi-Wan show, which comes out later this year. But yeah, Star Wars is cool, but
Star Wars is cool.
Season, yeah,
it's all right.
It's cool, but this season was such a mess. Like, they spent so much time, I feel like, trying to intertwine it with other shows. It just reminds me of how much better Mandalorian is over this show.
Mandalorian is amazing. Like, it is.
I'm glad they brought back Ewan McGregor for Obi-Wan. They still kept that, and they didn't like cast an older actor or something like that. They still kept him, from the prequels.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
I think they just need to dye if they just dye his beard grey, it'll be like the perfect in between of the two. So yeah. Anyways, I think it's time for trailers. Shall we move on?
Yep.
We shall.
Okay. Before I start, guys, let me just check. Is my audio still good?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I just knocked it before and I wasn't sure. I was going to make a note of the time, which is 24:55.
What do we do again if there's a problem? We clap or something like that?
Just write in the chat. We'll say just write in the chat.
Okay.
Which is on your right. Okay, we'll go back. Okay, now let's kick it off with the trailers for today. This should be exciting. Let's start off with The Offer, which I believe is a film for Paramount Plus about the making of the Godfather series. Are you guys got any particular connection to the Godfather at all? Are you guys excited for this?
I'm excited. I mean, I really enjoyed I've only seen the first two Godfathers. I haven't seen the third one. I have heard nothing but bad things about the third one, but the first two are just absolute classic masterpieces. The first one's arguably considered to be the best film of all time, or one of the best films of all time. So, I'm very interested. I don't know there was a huge, big story behind the making of the first one. So, I'm very keen.
I'm keen. I'm very keen. I love the cast, first and foremost. I love Miles Teller. I'm actually really excited to see him lead a dramatic piece. Probably for the first time, at least in TV. I really enjoy him on screen. And it'll be really interesting to get to watch this unfold. You know that something's iconic when they make an entire show about how it was made.
Yeah.
Like, that's next level. So I'm really keen as well. I think it's going to be something really different to have to watch on my list. And The Godfather is just... It's one of those movies that I think never really leaves you. And I think, like they say in the trailer, it's not just about family, it's about the American dream.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, and I think this show's going to be amazing.
I'm very excited to see how they do with the actors playing the young Marlon Brando and Al Pacino, or younger Marlon Brando and young Al Pacino and Francis Ford Coppola and stuff like that. You saw him at the very end of the trailer, so
that's going to be so exciting to see. Oh, I cannot wait. What a pressure situation getting that sort of role.
And there's this on Paramount Plus. I can't remember. It was on Paramount
Plus.
Geez, they're getting some good shows.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I've been thinking about Paramount Plus lately. Like, do I still want to keep it? But every now and then, like, they announce something good. It's like, I'll hold on to it a little bit longer.
I got rid of it after I saw Mayor of Kingstown, but I'll probably get it again for this, to watch this. So yeah, very keen.
Yeah. Can I say something potentially controversial that could ruin the entire credibility of the entire podcast?
Oh,
Here we go.
Don't do it, Matt.
Oh, no.
Don't do it.
Oh.
Don't do it. You got a family. Don't do it.
I haven't seen any of this.
I knew it! I knew that's where this was going! Matt!
My heart. My heart. You stabbed me right in the heart.
Oh, this is bad.
I think
you've made movies. You studied film, and you haven't seen The Godfather. What the fuck?
You're talking. Oh no!
I think I saw the first one when I was younger, but I don't remember it. Like I remember scenes, but I don't remember the whole thing. Like I don't remember how it ends, so I don't think I've seen it. But I don't remember
everyone dies at the
watching
end.
it in full. Spoilers. No. Still, like, I know I haven't seen the second one, and a lot of people argue the second one might be better than the first, or it's just as good.
That is correct.
No.
And look.
I know it's a hot topic.
First one's still
Matt,
better, in my opinion. First one's better.
I mean, you're talking to two Italians who love movies right now, and potentially have some connections that, could make things happen.
I'm dead.
But you can redeem yourself.
My
and
nonno's
watch
from
them.
Calabria, so there you go.
Well, my dad's side are from Sicily, which might even be worse for you. So you better
Sicily.
get on. You might even you just gotta watch it. Redeem yourself and watch them.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Like, I didn't know the show was coming out, but like literally like 3 weeks ago, my girlfriend and I were like, we should watch The Godfather. And I'm like, yeah, let's watch The Godfather. And we watched like the first 15 minutes, and then
you weren't in the
I don't know what happened.
Or
I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know what happened
you
next,
have
but we
to
didn't watch
be
it.
prepared to sit and dedicate that time. And
it's like, I find it with older movies, you have to pay extra attention. Like, there's less flashy stuff. Like, even the way they filmed stuff back then, it was a smarter way to film, but it was also like less flashy. So it doesn't, our attention spans, or at least mine, has really been destroyed over time. So like the way, like when I watch an old Spielberg film and like they just don't cut for like 5 minutes, and it's just a medium wide shot, which is like not that common these days. It's like, oh, I forgot. This is how movies used to be. They were like fancy plays. But look, I am aware a little bit about the behind the scenes of The Godfather. I knew that the mob wasn't happy with the fact they were making it, and I knew
no way.
that gangster films were on the way out. Like they sort of made it when it stopped. It was like starting to stop being cool to make gangster movies. Like that'd be like if they made a torture porn type movie like Sword today. You know, like that. No one makes this type of horror movies anymore. Yeah. You know. They were cool 10 years ago, but they're not now. Or in 10 years' time, when someone makes a superhero movie, they'll be like, oh, Marvel, that was cool like maybe 10 years ago. But that'll happen one day. Like our kids, I was thinking about this the other day, our kids, when we grow up, they go, oh, you want to shoot one of those old people movies, Spider-Man?
Oh my God.
No,
like,
back in my day,
like,
Spider-Man was cool.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, Dad, no one watches like superhero movies anymore. Yeah. It's all about, I don't know, what'll be next? Like rom-coms or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe westerns will come back one day. Maybe like sci-fi, I don't know, like super alien-y stuff will come back, but we'll see.
Be like, you know what? No, a better example before when I said torture porn. No, it'll be like if someone did a found footage film. Nobody makes found footage anymore. No. But for like one point in the 2010s, everybody was like, oh, Blair Witch, Cloverfield, you know?
Yeah.
I reckon because of technology, it'll probably end up being more fantasy sci-fi in the future.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
So,
I reckon it'll be the opposite. I reckon we're going to get so much CGI that people are going to get sick of it. And then it'll be cool to be like, do more things that are real. And that's where you get like, you know, Nolan, like directors like Christopher Nolan and stuff. They're going to shine even more. And Tarantino, like they're going to loop around, I think. And then they're going to want to avoid CGI. Like, even Star Wars stops like slowing down CGI. So
history always repeats itself. So we'll probably start again and like go through all the motions. But Matt, get on it. Seriously.
Oh, look, I'm actually interested in the show because I love behind the scenes drama of films, and you can't get more exciting than the mob trying to stop your movie. Like, that's pretty amazing. Actually, while watching this, you know what made me think? It just made me think, I can't wait till they eventually make a movie about the making of Straight Outta Compton. Because I don't know if you guys heard about that, but Suge Knight, like, the reason he's in jail is not because of all
he killed someone,
you know, how he
didn't he?
Yeah. It's not because he allegedly killed Tupac. It's not because he allegedly, you know, did all these crimes back in the 90s. No, it's because,
allegedly.
Yeah, it's because he tried to stop, he killed someone to try and stop them making the movie. And why that wasn't even a bigger thing in the news beats me, because that is the craziest fucking shit I've heard. Besides this, of course.
Pretty mental.
It reminds me of The Sopranos. There was a big talk about the mob and stuff when The Sopranos came out. And I think there was a story where James Gandolfini actually got a call from a mob guy just randomly on his phone and told him to stop wearing shorts or something like that.
Oh my God, that's terrifying. That is so scary.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they called him or someone in the cast, or I can't remember, something like that. But yeah, they got told, and there was talk about the mobs. They had the FBI like doing wiretaps and stuff, and they could hear mobsters talking about the show. Like, hey, is that supposed to be based on us or whatever? And yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Oh my God, that's really.
Do you prefer the second Godfather, 80?
Good question. I don't even. Maybe if I had to pick, maybe yes.
Okay.
I'd probably pick the second one.
Yeah.
But not that discredits anything about one. They're both so good. And, you know, it's really nice to know that you've seen them, Jesse. I really appreciate that.
Why is it really nice?
Oh, because some people just, you know, they just haven't.
Yeah, but...
And it's kind of offensive.
but we're film people, except for Matt, so...
Oh, yeah.
Jesse, this is you. This is Adrienne's joke. Just
straight over the head.
Okay.
She's giving me shit.
Look, I'll take it as a compliment that my sarcasm is really advanced. But
okay. Calm down, Chandler. Calm down, Chandler. No. Do you guys hear about? I think was it last year, the year before? They recut Godfather Part 3?
Yes, they did, and they released it on. They had like a special release for it. I haven't actually seen that one though, so.
I know a lot of people who were excited because I know some people were like, oh, they're going to make Godfather 3 better, but I don't know. the foundations are there. I know just recently they recut, was it Rocky 3 or Rocky 4?
Number 4.
Yeah, Rocky 4. And I heard people say that it's actually worse.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Because I follow Stallone on Insta, and he was hyping it up so much. Like, he was so enthusiastic about this recut of Rocky 4. But I've only seen, like, the first Rocky. I haven't seen the other Rockies, so I didn't really know if it was good or not.
That one really is like
I can't believe you haven't seen the other Rockies. How dare you? And actually, you know what? I haven't either. Yeah. I've been wanting to like binge. Like I feel like it's a great franchise.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple here and there. But
They're
like, I'd love to
actually really,
just see them in order.
They're really good and they're full of so much heart. Number 4 is the one where it just for some reason was like, oh, I don't know what's going on here. But
is it
the
4 or
rest
5 where? Is it 4 or 5 where he has like a robot that's his little helper friend?
A robot? That's his helper friend.
I don't know that one.
I heard in one of them, I think it's 4 or 5, like, apparently he's got like a robot butler, a robot waiter, and like people...
I don't remember that.
People said it was so childish and they hated it. And if I'm not mistaken, in 4, like, that's one of the main things is that they cut it out. It's like the Jar Jar Binks of the Rocky universe.
Oh, it's Rocky 4. It's Rocky 4.
Yeah, I haven't seen
it.
It
is.
Well, let me look this up.
And
Rocky,
it's like,
robot.
He's like a giant, you know when we were kids and they would have those like fake Transformer rip-off toy things? It's like that, but with an alien head. I don't really know how to explain it.
I got a photo of it. That is exactly...
I kid you not, I've seen that movie once when I was really young. Like, I started watching those movies when I was 12, and then I'd never watched that one again. So it's a very foggy memory.
I'm more of a fan of the Rambo movies.
Yeah, Rambo's good. So good.
Yeah, I was more of a Schwarzenegger guy than a Stallone guy growing up.
I am as well. Yeah, I'm more of a Schwarzenegger.
But I missed out on a lot of Stallone stuff growing up. And I'm kind of regret it. Like, back when I was a kid, I was like, it's Jackie Chan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, or nothing.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, I've barely seen any... Like, it's funny, I always think of myself, I really like those 80s, 90s action films.
Yeah.
When I think about it now, I haven't seen many Van Damme. I haven't seen many...
I was just about to say, so my household, both of my parents are massive, like, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, Van Damme fans. So I grew up watching all of them, and they were always just so badass. Even some of them still hold up really well now, which is impressive. They're not like super cheeseball.
I went on a huge Schwarzenegger binge a couple of years ago where if I saw like an old Schwarzenegger movie in the op shop, or I found it like in the at JB Hi-Fi or
Cash
whatever,
converters or something,
or on a streaming site, I'd just watch it, buy it and watch it. I've seen so many now. I watched Kindergarten Cop, Twins, Total Recall, Terminator movies I've seen multiple times, and Predator, but I just went on this huge binge of all of his movies. He's just so likable. Like, he's not like a fantastic actor, but he's just so likable and charismatic that you just love watching him. So
yeah. You know what? Like, I think that's really underrated. It's like, it's a film he did when he was much older, but it has that like early Schwarzenegger energy. The Last Stand with Johnny Knoxville. Have you seen that?
I've seen it. Yeah.
Like, I watching that, it's like it feels like I thought that was him coming back to Hollywood, because like, this is the Schwarzenegger I miss. And then ever since then, he hasn't really done anything on the same energy. Like, I know there's been the Terminator movies, but oh boy, those are not good films.
That's another rabbit hole right there.
Yeah. I've always thought to myself, like, you look at someone like Schwarzenegger, and he paved the way for like The Rock and John Cena, to do like the stuff they're doing. And it's like, just make a fucking Terminator movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger where he fights The Rock or John Cena as another Terminator. Like, it's simple as that. Give me all your money. I give them all my money. The end. John Cena would make an amazing Terminator. I would love to see him fight Schwarzenegger.
I probably wouldn't want to see that. I don't want to see a wrestler as a T800 or T1000. Sorry,
but
I'm sorry,
Matt.
Matt.
Beauty. Like, that's the beauty. It's like, you just need like that role. The reason it's so perfect for Schwarzenegger is the lack of acting. Is the acting. Yeah. So you give someone wooden like John Cena that, and he's got like the muscular.
That's the art form.
I don't know. Like, Robert Patrick made that kind of him and Arnie kind of pat that sort of thing. Like there's more involved than just not acting. You're gonna have to look menacing.
That's
it's
true,
body language, like acting with your body. There's more to it than just you're not doing anything. And that's what I think a lot of these other Terminator films get it wrong. Is because they just hire someone just to look imposing or whatever. But there's a lot more to it than you would think. And I think Robert Patrick kind of capitalized on it when he played the T-1000 in T2. So
Robert Patrick was amazing. And I just recently found out the bad guy from Peacemaker is Robert Patrick.
No way.
I didn't recognize him. He looks so, obviously he's like, 30 plus years older now, probably more. I didn't recognize it was him, but now I can't stop seeing it.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. Anyways, I think we should move on. Time to move on to our next trailer/topic for today. By the way, guys, what do you think of the offer? Let us know in the comments below. Let's talk about Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, which is coming to... Oh, actually, what is it coming to?
Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon. I'm getting really sick of their interface. They really need an update.
It's so bad. Oh, I so agree. It's really hard to navigate sometimes.
I hate how the rent and buy stuff is mixed in with all the stuff I can see for free. It just makes it so confusing, and it looks pretty bad. But Lord of the Rings. Adrienne, I happen to know that you are a massive Lord of the Rings fan. Are you excited? Tell me about your experience with the franchise and how excited you are for this.
Oh my God. Where do I begin, Matt? Honestly, I have loved The Lord of the Rings since I first saw Fellowship on the big screen. I think I saw it 3 times, and they're just fucking perfect films. I love everything about it. I am so excited for this series. You have no idea. Every couple of days, I'll just do a Google. I'll see if anything's come up. And recently, they just released 23 character posters for it. So everyone's trying to piece together who they think is who in the posters. But Lord of the Rings is one of my all-time favorite series. It's one of the only things as well that I think is better than the book.
Wow. So you've read the books too?
Yes, the books, look, it's not that the books are bad at all. They're excessive. You can tell that Tolkien was on shrooms for most of the
all
writing.
great writers. Stephen King, hint.
Yes, but he doesn't write 60 pages about a tree, okay? We don't need that many pages. So that is where, it's like they condensed it, but they kept everything good in. And then you have the extended versions, which serve you more. But better than the book for sure.
What is it about? Because this is one of your favorite franchises ever, right? What is it about Lord of the Rings that you love so much?
Okay, I think
I know it's a loaded question, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, my chief 2 reasons are the characters. And then reason number 2 would be the fact that everything you see it's real prosthetics, it's real sets, they're on location. That atmosphere on such a grand scale is something that it's beyond an experience. It's something that, I don't know, it really reaches in deep and makes you it immerses you in so many other ways than CGI could, I think, if you had made the first 3 CGI really heavy.
Something that's amazing about Lord of the Rings is it was one of the first franchises or movies ever to really take advantage of DVD bonus features. And everyone remembers the extended cuts and all that. But I think that's what I loved about The Matrix is the behind the scenes stuff of look how much effort is going into this. It makes you appreciate it more. Jesse, what do you feel about the Lord of the Rings franchise? Are you a big Lord of the Rings guy?
Yeah, I love the movies. I even enjoyed the Hobbit movies. They weren't as great, obviously, but I still enjoyed them. And I played some of the video games, what are they called? Shadow of Middle Earth, or what are they called? Or
Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor. Sorry, yeah. We got the orcs coming around going Ranger, I
remember playing it on Xbox, the very first Xbox.
And you got the
God.
same orc coming back after you like 5 times. You're like, dickhead, I've killed you like 5 times. Give it a rest.
Yeah.
Pack your stuff and go home. But I
Those are great games.
I
love
was
them.
more Star Wars and Harry Potter growing up because like when the first Lord of the Rings movie came out, I was like 5 years old and it was M. So I didn't start watching them until probably about Return of the King. After Return of the King came out, then I started watching them all. I watched them all and I loved them. And I think as I've gotten older, I've appreciated them more and more and more, and I've enjoyed them more and more and more. So they have it's like one of those things like I had more love for them as I got older rather than when I was younger because I was more Star Wars when I was younger. So I love the franchise. So yeah,
I think I relate to you a little bit because I feel like I've been meaning to rewatch them. I saw them all in cinemas, the first 3. I haven't seen any of the Hobbit ones, but I've been meaning to rewatch them because I feel like I would like them more now than I did back then. 'Cause
Yeah,
back
probably.
then, I did like the movies, but I remember, I think it was during Two Towers, there was a fight scene, there was a war scene, and they were going at it. And I remember after a while, I got a little bored. I remember thinking like, I think it was dark and there was a lot of CGI and I couldn't really tell what was going on. And I remember just like being like, I don't even know what I'm watching anymore. And I remember being confused because as a kid, it's like the action scenes are what I'd always look forward to. And I was watching an action scene going, this is not my favorite part of the movie. So I feel like though watching it now, I might appreciate it more, especially after seeing something like Game of Thrones and
for sure.
you know, and a lot of the references probably went over my head. Like now that I know more about it was my first fantasy movie I think I've ever seen. I've never been a big fantasy guy, but I think now that I know more about fantasy, I would appreciate it more. But I will say, like Jesse said, oh man, Lord of the Rings is some of the best video games of any movie franchise.
Yeah.
Like not just Shadow Mordor, but also like the
Two Towers. Two Towers on PS2. Did you ever play that one?
Yeah, that game.
So good.
That and Return of the King.
It's so good.
So fun. Like, why the fuck don't they re-release them?
Oh.
They
I would play
should.
them for hours on end.
The one that I played was like the Fellowship of the Ring made exclusively for Xbox, right? Like 2002.
Oh, I've heard
And
about that one.
it took me like weeks to get past just getting out of the Shire because Frodo had a stick, like a cane thing, and if you whacked the farm pigs hard enough, you would die because they would like maul him to death.
Holy
And
shit.
so I found it so funny that every time he would respawn, I just make him go find a pig and like whack it because I just thought it was hilarious.
That reminds me of in
Zelda.
Zelda. Yeah, I was going to say Zelda.
I think they stole that from Zelda. Zelda did that with
the
chickens.
You hit the chickens, and then like a armada of chickens just attack you. Like
Yeah. Every Zelda game, if you see a chicken, if you hit it too many times, it'll spawn an army of millions of chickens and they'll kill you.
I will
It's
definitely be doing this in the future. Thank you for the tip.
So I have a feeling that's a Zelda reference. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So they got pigs. It's amazing. But look, something you touched on, 80, is just the grandness of it all. Just to emphasize, I think, how much love and care is going into it. So this teaser trailer we got, which goes for about 30 seconds. We've been talking for about it for like an hour. It just looks like some lava going through some hills, but there's a behind the scenes video that was released. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I saw.
It's not CGI. It is all practical.
Oh,
they
wow.
poured actual, like, I don't know, it was lava or something into like these little metal things, and it spells out Lord of the Rings. And that's the type of love and care that those original movies had. And if that's an indication of what to expect for the show,
wow,
beyond hype.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. I saw that BTS video before I saw the teaser, and it just gave me butterflies. I'm so excited.
Can I just have a controversial take here about that trailer?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of the voice. I'm sorry. Kate Blanchett's voice is so much better.
Yeah.
So much more
It's
depth.
superior.
I was just like, this is very underwhelming. I'm not a fan of this voice.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but this show, The Rings of Power, will follow through the books just like the movies did. Is that correct?
Well, you know what? I'm not entirely... I don't know if like that's going to be exactly how it goes because...
Oh, wait. No, I am wrong. So, epic drama. Okay, this is IMDb. epic drama set thousands of years before the events of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, follows an ensemble cast of characters, both familiar and new, as they confront the long-feared re-emergence of the evil to Middle-earth.
Yeah.
Oh, but I thought someone was playing... Oh, wait, so some of the characters are coming back.
Well, this is the thing.
But...
I don't know how they're going to do it, but there's no confirmation. I mean, I don't know if there's going to be, like, time jumps or flashback. I don't know. I have no idea. We're just going to have to wait and see wait till we get more information.
Because in the Hobbit movies, some of the characters from the original, like, because isn't Legolas in one of them?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or something?
Yeah, because
and
he's really
Gandalf's in all
old.
of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've heard it's about the one of my friends told me that the whole series is going to be about them forging the rings or something like that, or
something. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you're right there.
Yeah.
I feel like what happened is Game of Thrones got successful, and they're like, "What can we do to how can we be the next Game of Thrones?"
Yeah.
Fucking Lord of the Rings. All right, Lord of the Rings. And instead of houses, they've got the people with rings. So,
Well, this is $1 billion TV show now. Like, it's the biggest one of all time. They just can't mess it up. They just can't.
Next minute.
well,
No. I'll be so sad.
at the end of the day, like, they can have all the budget in the world and special effects, but the story's not there. And that's what's scary. Like, it looks like there's going to be a lot of new characters that we're not familiar with. So, but look, when you got that much money, yeah, you hope that they've got a good showrunner, or a good, yeah. Anyways, let's move on. Guys, are you interested in seeing the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power? Are you a big Lord of the Rings fan? Let us know in the comments below. Moving on to our last trailer for today. Guys, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It comes out really soon on Netflix. They're giving it the Halloween treatment. Mm-hmm. There's like a survivor from the original. They're coming back. They're ignoring all the sequels. It is literally a recall. Like, it's what Scream 5 warned us about. They're doing everything they said would happen. But you guys, big fans of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, are you excited for this show? What do you reckon?
I really like the first movie, and then all the other movies I just kind of repress in my memory. I think to be honest, I think we talked about I think maybe it was the Cut podcast or whatever, and I was talking about one of the Texas Chainsaw movies where Matthew McConaughey played the villain. And it was just so over the top and just so fucking bizarre and campy. And out of all the major horror movie franchises out there, I feel like Texas Chainsaw probably has one of the worst, alongside maybe Halloween. But now Halloween's got that 2018 like redo. I don't know. Like, it's got one of the worst horror movie franchises. Like, besides the first movie, I didn't really give a shit about any other sequels or prequels or anything like that. So
I'll do you one better. I don't understand how the fuck Texas Chainsaw Massacre has such a long legacy. Like, I get it. There's one iconic movie a bajillion years ago, but like the character's not even that interesting as compared to, like, you know, your Freddys and Jasons. I don't think that's very memorable. There's like maybe one image in my head of him with the thing. Like, I never understood the hype for this franchise. I'm a big slasher guy, but I never really connected with me. Like, I've never seen anyone go, bro, have you seen the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Or, you know what's a good horror movie? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 7. Yeah. Like, it's even hard to say, but like, there's like
true.
400 of them and no one gives a fuck about 90% of them.
I think because as well in the Texas Chainsaw movies, like, you look at Friday the 13th, it's just Jason. Look at Nightmare, it's just Freddy. Whereas in Texas Chainsaw, it's not just Leatherface, it's his whole family, because they're a family of cannibals as well. So I think there's a slight bit of taken back from the focus off of Leatherface a little bit. But I kind of agree with you, Matt. Like, he's not as iconic as those other horror movie villains and whatnot. So yeah.
I'll tell you what, Mortal Kombat recently did I think it was X, 10. They had all these slashers guest characters come in. They had Jason, they had Michael. Did they have Michael Myers? No, I think they had Jason, they had Alien, they had Predator, They had Terminator. They had Rambo. They've had Freddy. They even brought in Leatherface, and like everyone was excited for everyone. But when Leatherface dropped, like nobody gave a shit. That's when I realized, okay, I'm not the only one who thinks this guy's not that exciting.
Have you played Dead by Daylight? He's quite popular in that game. I don't know if you've played Dead by Daylight.
I haven't, but I've heard good things. I know, like, it's a Ghostface.
Yeah, it's a great horror game. Well, it has all of them. It has like, it has Freddy. It has Ghostface, Leatherface. God, there's so many fucking villains.
What about my boy Chucky?
No, there's no Chucky.
My boy Chucky.
I haven't played it in a while, but they've got a whole bunch of iconic horror movie villains, and Leatherface is actually used by people quite a fair bit. So
that's cool.
I don't know.
What do you reckon, Adrienne? You excited for this movie? What do you reckon of the trailer?
I've never been, I don't know, obsessed with this franchise. I'm not a slasher person that much, or not to this extent, because I have a fear of like blood and it freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah, this fear of being murdered.
Yeah, just a small one. Not very common fear, but
being murdered is not on my top 10 things to do, you know.
Yeah. But this one actually, I feel like this one looks the most interesting to me of all of them, because there's a whole revenge story. People are gonna band together. That gives me something more to grip onto to watch this, rather than just people getting hacked to death. The only one I really remember watching was the Jessica Biel one, and I just remember, I don't know, I just thought to myself, I'm really not keen on watching any of these really ever again. This sort of gives me the vibe of the second It movie as well, with the town and like the teens sort of like coming together. I don't know, I got that a bit from this. So
Don't pull a Halloween Kills, and you'll be all good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, guys, have either of you seen Halloween Kills? Because I watched it recently.
I haven't.
I've watched a little tiny bit of it, and I know the whole plot. I read the whole plot. I'm like, yeah, that just sounds fucking horrible. Like,
it's the first one was so great. It's unbelievable how much it falls from grace. Like, he's basically like, first of all, like, Michael Myers is essentially Jackie Chan. Like, he will take on 10 guys at once and kill them all. Like, there's a scene where he's fighting, like, firefighters. They all got axes and shit. And he's like, he's not doing backflips, but he may as well be. Just doing this freaking sword shit. And then, like, the whole town rallies against someone who they think is Michael Myers, but isn't. And I'm just there watching it like, how do you fuck this up? So bad. And I watched Don't Breathe 2 recently as well. And that movie... fucking terrible. So trash. What is it with these great horror movies, these great modern horror movies, get such terrible fucking sequels? Yeah. It makes no sense. So, look, seeing Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it really take a big step, a real big page of the Halloween book. That's cool. This is your chance to win me back. This franchise is your chance to win me back. But I won't be. I'm excited for this one. But I won't be excited for a sequel based on recent events. Fuck. But guys, what do you think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Am I an idiot for thinking this is a pretty crappy franchise?
No,
let me know.
You're not.
Alright, guys, time to move into the final stage of the podcast. We are going into our film discussions. Spoiler alert, the following film discussions will contain spoilers. We'll be talking about Gold, House of Gucci, Red Rocket, and Nightmare Alley. If you don't want to be spoiled, be sure to check the time codes in the description below. This is your spoiler warning. You've been warned. Okay, gang, let's get straight into our reviews. Let's kick things off with Gold, starring Zac Efron, shot down under, and it's right now available on Stan. Jesse, you were the first of the three of us to see it. What were your initial reactions? This film seems like it'd be up your alley. Is that right?
Yeah, it's kind of up my alley. I mean, I like post-apocalyptic type of movies. It was okay. I wouldn't say it was great. I just thought it was very mediocre. I was maybe a little bit underwhelmed. I was like, I like the premise. I like the premise that they go out, they're traveling to this location, and then they find this huge gold nugget. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong about this because I'm not an excavator, or I'm not a, I don't go to the gold panning or whatever. But I don't know. Can you get a gold nugget that big?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, they say in like the, I don't know, synopsis and stuff, that's the biggest gold nugget ever found. But they never say that in the movie. You only see like a small chunk of it.
Yeah.
People have definitely found like
yeah.
huge chunks of it. So
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah, the story is Zac Efron and Anthony Hayes, who also wrote and directed this movie, shot down in South Australia with assistance from the South Australian government. They go instead of post-apocalyptic world. They travel to the compound, which is like some new place that Zac Efron wants to start a new life and work at or whatever. And they come across a gold nugget. Anthony Hayes goes back to get an excavator, and Zac Efron's just got to stay there and mine the gold nugget. And yeah, I mean, there's parts of it I like. I loved the makeup, and they made Zac Efron look dirty as fuck in this. And I did think Zac Efron put on a decent performance. I mean, you could tell he was really trying to give it his all in this. He didn't. I think he wants to get away from the previous franchises he's done, like High School Musical and all that. I don't know. I was kind of just a bit underwhelmed by it. I thought it just needed something more. I felt like it could have been trimmed by 10, 15 minutes. It was starting to drag a little bit, and it wasn't even that much of a long movie. It was only like 95 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. The ending came around, and I liked the ending, even though it's a little bit predictable. But again, I just feel like I needed something a bit more. It was just a little bit underwhelming for me. And I found a lot of people who have reviewed this kind of said, oh, it's boring, or it's nothing happens, or whatever. I feel like it's not a casual moviegoer type of film, because people have very short attention spans and no patience for payoff. So you need to have a bit of patience. But even then, I feel like the payoff was a little bit underwhelming. I also don't get why they both use, Anthony Hayes and Zac Efron both used American accents if they're in Australia. That was actually my biggest criticism.
Yeah.
I don't get, why is the point of saying this is a film based in Australia, but no one has an Australian accent?
Yeah.
Like, there's also that other woman,
Irish.
and she's got an Irish accent. Yeah.
And
So
then
you got
there
these
was
American
like
accents, you got Irish, and there's no Aussie accents at all. It's confusing.
And then like there was that little like miniature like Arabic style market thing with like a little old lady, and their food even had like Arabic writing on it, and you're like, what the hell's going on?
The only thing,
the only way you know that it's even in Australia is on the radio. In one scene in the beginning, you hear them say Northern Territory. But I don't even think they say the word Australia, I think.
everything's just so vague. Like there's a post-apocalypse, but you don't know what it's about, what's happened. I got the sense that basically...
Wait, sorry, so let me pause you there.
Yeah.
Was it a post-apocalypse? Because I just thought some guy was in the desert.
No, it's a post-apocalypse, because they kept...
Okay, see, that even went over my head.
But I got the sense that different countries were kind of... People from different countries were coming to Australia to escape whatever was going on. But everything's so vague. You just have no idea or no context. Like, the characters barely talk. There's not much dialogue in this movie. And it was just so unfocused. I just felt like we needed a bit more context to care, to give a shit. And... yeah, I don't know.
I think you're right. Unfocused is a good word. Like, even on IMDb, they're listed as Man 1 and Man 2. Yeah. I think on the credits, they actually got names, but even that, it's like there's no substance. There's nothing for us to hold on to. Even like the events that happen, it's just like, it's as generic as this type of survival thriller can come. It's like, guy gets left alone in the desert. He has to build shelter. He has to fight off some coyotes. He has some hallucinations, I think. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on with that lady. Like, I think they want us to think she was a hallucination, but she wasn't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think.
Which I did like. I did like the fact that she said, "Oh, have you seen my sister?" That part I did like. I thought, "Oh shit!" Like he actually
because you thought it was exactly.
Yeah, but like even that, like that is so minuscule of like that's just a small nugget of something.
No, pun intended.
Of plot. Yeah. No, I just feel like the second I knew he was left there, I was like, oh, so he dies. Like, that's the ending. Like, in an hour from now, Zac Efron will die, and then maybe the other guy gets the money. Maybe he gets killed. Who knows?
I predicted he'd be waiting for Zac Efron to die so he could just come in and collect it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
It was very predictable, unfortunately. I was rooting for this because it's you know, Aussie film and everything, and it clearly was hard working conditions. Apparently, there were a lot of real sandstorms that attacked the scene. And,
Whoa.
yeah, like a lot of the sand was actually happening on the day. Apparently, at one point they were going to shut down until I think it was the cinematographer was like, "No, let's film it." But yeah, Adi, do you have anything else to add? Because I feel like it's just been me and Jesse talking.
I fully agree with everything that you've said. My favorite parts were definitely Zach's performance. I thought he did really well. And the makeup was disgusting, as it should have been.
Yeah.
I really, like, whoever the makeup artist was, well done, 20 out of 10 to you. I thought that, yeah, the script was just, there was nothing for me to grasp onto, to care about. And I absolutely thought, I knew the guy was going to let him die because he wanted it for himself.
Yeah.
He asked him so many times, like, are you sure? Because I was like, well, I feel like this is him sort of going, are you sure you want to die? Because I can just leave you and dump you back in the town. So I don't know. I think in terms of if you want to watch for a great performance and something different from Zach, then that's what it is probably best for.
Well, I got the vibe based on like what that lady said, that there was like a watering hole 5 kilometers away.
Yeah, she said that.
Like,
yeah.
I figured he just went there and chilled, and then that was it. Like, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I think this film was a bit boring, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, because there was nothing really for us to. They didn't bring anything new to the genre. They didn't really do anything. I think the effects of like the coyotes that were like eating him towards the end, that was kind of cool. But that's like a 10-second scene. Like, you know, there's not a lot to talk about because there's not a lot that happens.
And I feel like you don't really know anything about Zac Efron's character. You don't know his past.
Yeah.
You don't know if he had family, you know, whatever. Why is he? You just know he just wants a new life and he wants better prospects in life. That's it. You don't know anything else about his character.
It
So
only
it's like,
works
why do
to
we
a
care?
certain extent. Like,
Yeah.
it's up to us to assume he's lost everyone he's ever loved and blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, it can only push you so far into, like, wanting to cheer for him or feel on edge.
I didn't think it was a terrible movie. I just thought it was a very mediocre movie that I'll probably forget about in 2 minutes.
The thing is like there's such little there. It's kind of hard to fuck up. Like it feels like there's just a lack of, I don't want to say effort, but just a lack of ideas to do anything new or exciting.
Yeah.
So they're working with the template, you know, like for the type of shit that people say, like, oh, like Marvel's formulaic. Well, I'd say this is also a formulaic film. I've seen 127 Hours, or I've seen, I know, movies where people are greedy and they kill each other over something. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen this movie before. It's just now it's got a shiny new hat named Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, look, it's I enjoyed it, but I won't remember it 5 years from now.
Just
and,
mediocre.
Yeah.
I'm just going to add as well. I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I would have enjoyed this a lot more if it wasn't set in a post-apocalypse. Like they were trying to, like it was set in like normal times, and they were trying to hide it from people just passing by, thinking Zac Efron was like stranded in the middle of the desert or whatever. You know, I feel like that would have been a lot more interesting if they went that kind of route. You know, but
Jesse, I promise you it wouldn't have done anything better because I didn't realize this took place in the post-apocalyptic. I thought this is actually the Australian outback, and they were like, it wasn't when that lady showed up wearing all that weird fucking Dune outfit.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, what the fuck's going on? And so when you say it's post-apocalyptic, now it makes a bit more sense to me, to be honest. Like, it actually makes more sense now because I remember thinking, why is this guy such a busted up four-wheel drive? I just thought he was just getting ripped off. But like that doesn't really change my experience with it, I feel. The only other thing I could say is I think I thought it was a little bit refreshing that the color grading was like grey and yellow.
Yeah.
Really desaturated. Because usually when you see like the Aussie Outback, there's a lot of orange and it's really, they push it up. That might have been like for more the apocalyptic vibes maybe. But I've never seen the Aussie Outback look in that light. So
it was kind of a bit Mad Max type. But even then, I feel like Mad Max explained the apocalypse, even though it was subtle. They explained the apocalypse that they were in far better than the one in this. It was just so vague in this one. So
it's a Mad Max type apocalypse, but visually, I think it's a bit different because Mad Max has a lot brighter colors.
Yeah.
This is kind of like it's a desaturated version of Mad Max. If that makes sense. Yeah. They're both very deserty.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts or comments before we move on?
No.
All right. Gold's out now on Stan if you guys want to check it out. If you want to see Zach do a bit more of a desperate, tortured performance, the makeup is really good, I will say. Moving on, though, speaking of makeup and having actors look completely different, House of Gucci. Jesse, you've seen this one. Directed by Ridley Scott.
Yes.
I hear it's really great.
Yes.
I was meant to watch it, but I just ran out of time. What do you reckon of House of Gucci?
Am I the only one to watch this? Have you seen it 80 or?
No, I have not.
Oh, okay. I thought you
it.
had seen it as well.
I tried my hardest to go this week, but
we all tried, but you're the only one who pulled through. So,
yes, I did see House of Gucci probably about 2 weeks ago now, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good film. I don't know, it's gotten some criticism, like some mediocre reviews from critics. I don't really understand why. I thought it was well done. It was well made. The performances were fantastic. Everyone brought their A game. I thought Lady Gaga was great, even though her accent was a little bit here and there at times. Adam Driver was great. I love seeing Al Pacino again. He had one moment, you know those explosive Al Pacino moments you ever see?
Yes.
I loved it. There was one scene where he goes off, because Jared Leto plays his son in the movie, and there's one scene where he goes off at Jared Leto. I loved it. I'm like, yes, that's the Al Pacino I love. I even thought Jared Leto was fine. A lot of people gave Jared Leto shit for his performance, saying it was kind of showy and, hey, look, I'm an actor kind of thing. I thought his performance was fine. I really thought I was like watching it because I had in my brain that a lot of people had an issue with Jared Leto's performance, and I'm watching the movie and I'm like, it's a little bit showy, but it's not that bad. Like it's fine. Like it's I was very into the story, the whole thing, because I obviously I had no idea about the whole story and whatnot, and just like. Just the business aspect of it, just the legal and just it was all just the whole story was just captivating to me, and I was just invested from the very beginning. And Adam Driver's relationship with Lady Gaga, and then how it's just he goes through the business. Lady Gaga wants to take over. She starts getting assertive, saying get rid of your family members. They're Al Pacino and Jared Leto. They bring the business down. They're old. I just found it all very captivating. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it as much as Last Duel. I thought I preferred Last Duel a little bit more than this. It was a little bit slow at times, and I was a little bit underwhelming slots. But overall, I thought it was a very solid Ridley Scott movie, and far better than most of the movies I see coming out today in the cinemas. So I definitely recommend giving it a watch. To me, Ridley Scott's much more of a hit than a miss. Like I know people have problems with his movies, saying that some are hits, some are misses. For me, he's far more of a hit with his movies than a miss, and I think this one was a hit. And I really did enjoy it. I was invested throughout the whole story. So I highly recommend watching it.
I had a chat with Zoheb from Midnight Double Feature, who is notoriously a big critic of Ridley Scott in recent years, but he loved it too. He even said, I believe he said Jared Leto's performance is pretty good as well. He recommended it, and I remember he was telling me to check out something else, but I can't remember.
I just didn't.
Anyway, shout out to Midnight Double Feature, great podcast.
I just didn't get the whole criticism about his performance. Like I thought he was fine. Like he was.
It was probably just one particular critic that people really like, and
They all followed,
that-
you know, the
Yeah.
or maybe they didn't follow suit, but the fan base got the word out there, and yeah, because also Australia got this movie way later than the States, so who knows really. Oh, that's right. He told me to check out Pam and Tommy because
I actually want to watch that.
my favorite comedic actor, Jason Mantzoukas, voices Tommy Lee's penis.
Oh yes, I've read about that, and I really want to watch it. It's just gonna be so funny.
Yeah, and he knows to let me know when there's new Jason Mantzoukas info because I'm a big fan. Yeah, House of Gucci. It's all Gucci. Actually, with a sequel. If there's a sequel called House of Gucci, it's all Gucci. Yeah.
Jeez.
Can I ask, how does it end? Like, do they touch on, House of Gucci Gucci went on to become a very successful brand.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, in the film, the Adam Driver is not really invested in the Gucci business because it's owned by his uncle and Jared Leto. It's owned by his uncle. His uncle's the main operator of it. And he doesn't really get invested in it. But when he begins a relationship with Lady Gaga, she kind of realizes that he has a family connection to it. And then they both she convinces him to go into the business. Because originally he was studying to be a lawyer. But then he goes into the business. And then Lady Gaga kind of pushes Adam Driver to kind of take over the whole thing. Because she has a power complex. She likes being in control. She likes having ownership of things. She wants to be rich and powerful and famous. And she's just power hungry and fame hungry. And Adam Driver, it gets to the point where Adam Driver gets like really irritated with her because she's kind of forced him to push his family away, and it puts him on edge. And then they have like an argument, and then Adam Driver begins an affair with another woman. So that convinces Lady Gaga to go, well, I'm just gonna bump him off, and she gets a couple of hitmen to bump him off, and then she gets arrested, and it basically ends with, towards the climax of the film, they're trying to. Adam Driver's the last Gucci left in the business because they've kicked off
the last Gucci.
Yeah.
Coming to
They've kicked out. He's kicked out his uncle Al Pacino and Jared Leto. And there's a great scene where Al Pacino's like, "How could you do this to me? You've sold me out to some new," because he talks to some new investors and they basically take over the company. And Adam Driver kicks out his uncle and he's like, "How could you do this to me?" or whatever. And he like signs the paper for he's like, how much the investors want to give him. And then he just like chucks it or whatever. And towards the end, they start talking to Tom Ford, fashion designer Tom Ford, who's kind of gives them a new breath of life because they're kind of Gucci's seen as outdated and old and whatnot, and he gives them a new line of clothing and fresh breath of fresh air. And the investors decide to kick out Adam Driver towards the end of the movie, and but it's not long until he gets bumped off. But and then at the end, it shows at the end where the company's at, where all the characters in the movie are at in their lives. Some are in prison, some aren't. And it says, I think one of the final things it says is, no one in the Gucci family is currently in the business. They're all gone. So,
oh damn.
Yeah, and they said the Gucci is one of the most famous fashion brands in the world, or something like that. But it was a good movie. I really enjoyed it, and I recommend it. So,
okay.
One last question, the most important question.
Yes.
The movie House of Gucci, does it, yes or no, does it feature the hit song by artist, musician, performer Lil Pump, Gucci Gang? Yes or no?
I don't actually know if I know that song.
I knew that's where that question was going.
Oh, what's that song again?
Gucci Gang. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. Nah, what a waste!
I can't remember. Don't yell at me.
The answer's no. You would know it if you knew it.
I don't know the song.
We are not all Gucci, fam.
I'm.
How dare Ridley Scott make a very serious movie about a very serious topic without putting a completely trash but amazing song?
I don't remember. I'm
what
sorry.
What a disgrace.
I'm
not
a music person. I'm not a music person. Stop yelling at me.
I'm just making memes.
It possibly did. I don't remember.
I'm willing to bet it didn't. Basically,
I saw it 2 weeks ago. So
it's cool. All right, let's move on. Wait, did Lady Gaga do a song for this? Or
no, she shouldn't have.
She's transcended that level of needing to do songs for movies.
As the character, no, but I don't think she did release one for the soundtrack.
I just miss the good old days when Will Smith made a song about every movie he was in. You know, that was good times. Anyways, let's move on because we're scraping the barrel here. Adrienne, you saw Red Rocket. I will not make any jokes about dogs' penises. I know nothing about this movie.
Well, that is the joke. I mean, it's intentional, so...
Okay, I haven't even looked up the poster for this. I'm just going to... it's a dick pic. No, I'm kidding. Oh, right. This is a Simon Rex movie.
Yes, this is the Simon Rex movie that has absolutely catapulted him into, like, some very... respected mainstream territory now.
So the movie title is very relevant.
Yeah, absolutely.
For those playing at home who don't know, what is Red Rocket about?
All right, so Red Rocket, starring Simon Rex, is about an aging... Are you okay?
I was just going to say, for those who aren't familiar with Simon Rex, he is Eminem from Scary Movie 3. He is the rapper... And he and famed comedy rapper from
he was also
he's a very bizarre human being.
He's
entertaining.
He's had one of the craziest careers you will ever hear in your life. He was a male model in Europe when he was really young before he became one of the first famous MTV like music hosts on the program. So he was in that whole era of like the reality MTV thing. And then rode that wave until he like did some acting, then rapping, platinum rapper, by the way. And now
platinum.
Yeah, he went platinum.
What?
I'm not even joking.
What song?
I can't. My dick. I think that was platinum.
Oh, I forgot he's on that song. Yeah. Oh my god.
But yeah,
of course it's called My Dick.
Of course.
Simon Rex.
But he's actually incredible. He did an amazing episode about his life with Awards Chatter, which is the Hollywood Reporter podcast. You need to listen to it because it's mental and he's so interesting. But basically, so he plays Mikey, who is an aging, washed up, ex-porn star who's basically completely failed with his career in LA after almost sort of hitting the big time. And he goes back to his wife in their tiny little Texas city to like beg her to let him stay there for a while until he like figures out his next move with his career. And it's directed by Sean Baker, who did Tangerine and The Florida Project, which are very cinema verite. He often sort of examines things like sexual morality, and he portrays like underrepresented subcultures and outcasty types of characters. And it's just like like the character of Mikey, Simon Rex is really good in it. Like this is definitely him showcasing just what he can do and what he's made of. It's worth a watch just for him alone. But his character is just his own kryptonite, and the whole thing is like an examination on the grossness of the male gaze. Basically it's like the cycle of the American dream, you know, like constantly like failing and then trying again and again. But he's one of these people who's already came from poverty, so he's sort of in an endless cycle of never being able to break out of it. And it's like it's really funny sometimes, but it's also a bit gross and repulsive, but that's sort of the point. It's supposed to be really gritty. And the ending is actually kind of a bit artistic for Sean Baker instead of being too real. You don't really know if what he's seeing in the end is real or not, which I sort of liked because it shows you like he's just how lost he is. I think it's supposed to leave you with a sour taste in your mouth, and it does that. It's a great example of like a modern American cinema verite film. I think if you want to see, if you know who he is, it's just great to watch to see him do something really, really good like this.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. He had a rap group with Andy Milonakis and Riff Raff called Three Loco, which I unironically really enjoyed. For some reason, I say that because some people would hear it and call it cringe. But like, I actually enjoyed it. but like I've seen him do a lot of comedy stuff. He's done a lot of scary movie things, like the parodies and stuff. But I'm interested to see him in a more serious role. It's amazing to think like the Tangerine director teamed up with this guy. But maybe that's the beauty of it, you know?
Yeah, this is the cool thing. So Simon Rex did not inform his agent that he was making this film until the wrap day. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Really?
He said that he was so sort of in and out of work that his agents weren't taking him seriously. And then Sean Baker called him up and said, hey, I think that you would absolutely be perfect. You're basically like my number one choice for this role. And he flew out and just made it for 3 weeks and then told his agents, who he said sort of like shat bricks a little bit because they were like, oh, what the fuck? But that's great. But what the fuck? So,
oh my God.
Yeah, he's on all the roundtables, like with all of the best actor nominees of the last year. So he's catapulted himself with this.
If you want to have an idea of where Simon Rex's career was just before this movie, I just discovered something that I can't unsee. This is fucking alarming. Remember how like after the scary movies they had like the spin-offs like Meet the Spartans and Date Movie, Vampires Suck, and they got worse and worse. Well, apparently I never heard about this, so it's crazy that me of all people haven't heard about this. In 2019, they released a new superhero parody movie. You mean, like superhero movie? No, it's just called Avengers of Justice Fast Wars. He plays the Dark Jokester, which is some parody of the Joker, who teams up with Lisp Luthor to fight Superbat and the Avengers of Justice. This is not being made up. It stars Shawn Michaels from WWE as the Incredible Master Yoga.
Is this?
As in, I think it's like Master Yoda, and it's just this there's characters like Beaverine, which I'm guessing is like Wolverine, and then you got Thor Backer. So I'm guessing a lot of these are just like Marvel characters mixed with like, DC or Star Wars. There's a girl called Spider-Cat. This looks like the worst fucking movie of all time.
I want to see this immediately.
I need to see it. This looks so bad.
This is a Roger Corman production.
This is a production. No, this is a production by. Who the fuck is? Okay, this director is Jarrett Tarnall. Never heard of him. Clicking him right now, live in the air, discovering the shitness of it all. Wow, these are really poorly photoshopped posters. This hurts my eyes to look at. That is a
God.
This is an extremely compressed JPEG of an image.
Is it giving you Shark Exorcist vibes?
I'm talking lower budget than that, probably.
Then Shark Exorcist,
bro. Like Simon Rex, your career was not on the high.
It was
also
not.
Got this guy. Who's this guy? Stefan Ranazzisi. He's in The League. I like that show.
Can I ask?
Yeah. Okay. This looks terrible. Sorry, guys. I went on a tangent there, but Avengers of Justice, Fast Wars. Holy shit, this looks terrible.
Can I ask? Was this guy like a porn actor or something? Or
no.
Okay.
So Simon Rex literally was. He one day went to a casting with a girlfriend. He got an agent and immediately started modeling. And I'm talking high profile Paris Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week. Became a sensational male model. Then became a TV host on MTV, then became an actor, then a rapper. And now...
What a career.
It's insane. And now...
It's really out there of a career because like
it is.
Most people knew him as the host of an MTV show.
Yeah.
But then he pretty much just did spoof movies. Like Scary Movie 4 and 5, I think were the big... 3 and 4 were the biggest. And then when he was a rapper, he was like I don't even know if comedy rap is the right thing. He just sung about his dick a lot.
Yeah.
And then he had this one song though, which is pretty great. It was just like, the chorus is literally just, I'm on cocaine. I got a gold chain.
He is actually quite famous. Like, a lot of people from a lot of things will know who he is. And he's just a crazy out there guy, but really highly intelligent, very talented. And he was just saying that the last few years he wanted to genuinely take acting, like take the reins back and do some serious stuff. And this was basically the answer to his prayer, and boom, here he is. And you'll start seeing him now, I think, in a lot of more respected projects.
I'm keen to see that. Like, he's an interesting guy. I would love to sit down and have a beer with him.
Me too.
The other people of his rap group, just saying it, Three Loco, Riff Raff was under a lot of he was a serious rapper, but he was famously terrible, and he was often accused of cultural appropriation. It's exactly who James Franco based his performance off for Spring Breakers.
Yes, that's right.
So imagine James Franco and Spring Breakers. Him as a real person was friends with this guy, and then the other member of their group was Andy Milonakis, who was a guy with some sort of disease or something where he looks like a kid, but he's not.
Yeah.
And he's famous for a vine of what people thought was an 8-year-old boy just going, pussy, 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 marijuana, pussy, 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 marijuana.
Yes!
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, those three were like a super team of, they released a really bizarre EP, which I weirdly loved back in the day. But Simon Rex, that's the company he keeps. He's a pretty out there guy. I love him, but
I would just say this is one of, I suppose, the most successful indie films of last year, and you're not supposed to come out of this thing feeling good. You will laugh. Like, there are a lot of really funny parts, but it's really just disturbing and gross and sad for the most part, and very real. I'm sure that there's probably someone out there with this actual story. But cinematography's great, acting's great, directing's great. A lot of the actors, this is their first time. That's what Sean Baker likes to do. Just cast real people to play these real roles, which is really amazing.
Right.
So yeah, if you give it a go,
I will watch it for sure, and I'm gonna come back to you with my review because.
All right.
Oh my god, I like this guy, but he's like one of those people. It's like I don't know why I like him. Like there's a vibe about him. It's like this guy's kind of a cool dude.
Yeah.
I'm happy to see Simon Rex in like a really like a project that's getting its flowers. So good for him.
Yeah.
Look, let's move on to a film with a little bit of Oscar buzz. I would say Nightmare Alley. Jesse, you saw this one. You're the only one of us who have. We've been slacking off this last fortnight. But thanks for picking up the slack for us. Starring Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
And Cate Blanchett and Toni Collette. What a lineup. What do you reckon of Nightmare Alley?
Yeah, I'll be quick because I don't really have heaps to say about the movie, but it was overall fantastic. It was another superb film from Guillermo del Toro. It's based on there was a 1947 film with Tyrone Power, and then they're both based on a novel called Nightmare Alley, and it has to do with magic and fortune telling. So Bradley Cooper plays a guy. At the very opening shot of the movie, he's in a wooden house and he's dragging a body into this underground compartment, and then he sets the house on fire. And you're like, oh, okay, wow, it was a pretty intense opening. And then he travels to like this circus, like carnival. And it's a very neo-noir, psychological thriller kind of movie. And Bradley Cooper basically learns the dark side of the magic and carnival / circus and all the really fucked up aspects about it. And he starts to learn about fortune telling and that kind of thing and tarot cards and all that. And eventually he starts a relationship with one of the performers there, played by God, I can't remember her name. Give me a second. But he
Toni Collette.
No, not Toni.
Cate Blanchett.
No, not Cate Blanchett. I'm gonna.
Rooney
Mara. That's it. Rooney Mara. He starts a relationship with Rooney Mara, and then they move from the carnival / circus, and then he starts developing a business where he does fortune telling, or he will talk about people's futures, or he will, and then it gets to the point where he gets so good because the way he does it in a very smart way, in the sense that he observes people and then notices subtle stuff in their voice or the way they're dressed or what they're carrying or what they're wearing or this, like the subtle.
So he's faking the
whole thing. He's faking the whole thing, but he's trained himself so well into it that he's so good at it. And the way he asks the questions, they're very general questions, but they can also be very specific questions. So anyway, he starts doing this for Kate Blanchett, and then she links him up with Richard Jenkins, because he starts doing this, like, at the start he's doing public ones, so he's doing public fortune telling for groups of people, but then people, like rich, wealthy people, start paying him exorbitant amounts of money to do private fortune telling for him about a dead relative or something like that. And that's where the movie gets really interesting, because he starts to, like, this is not ethically right. But the whole movie, Bradley Cooper is not an ethically moral kind of character. He's very, you could tell he's got a lot of baggage and a lot of stuff going on in his past. And this is probably one of Bradley Cooper's best performances in years. I haven't seen the movie he did with Lady Gaga, that came out
Star is Born.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one a couple of years ago, but this is by far the best Bradley Cooper performance I've seen of him in years, because Bradley Cooper kind of disappeared from what I saw. He didn't feature in a lot of movies over the past 5-6 years, and if he did, he was more in like a supporting role. So this is by far like a big Bradley Cooper resurgence. And originally this movie, his role was supposed to go to Leo, and I'm kind of glad they went with Bradley, because it gave him the chance to show what he can do. And I just thought he brought it all, and I thought he did a really good job. And I thought Kate Blanchett was fantastic. All the performances were fantastic. I wouldn't say it's Guillermo del Toro's best film. I probably preferred his previous one, Shape of Water. I thought that was probably a bit of a stronger film.
I really liked Shape of Water.
Yes, so do I. But this is still a very solid film, and it focuses on like the dark side of fortune telling and that kind of thing, because he tells fortunes for people, and sometimes they have bad consequences. So there's this one part where he's doing the fortune telling for Richard Jenkins, who plays a very, very wealthy person whose I think it was his wife or his partner passed away, and he wants him to bring his. Do you want me to spoil it, or are you guys going to see it, or do you not want me to spoil it?
I will watch it, but like I
feel
don't
like
really.
You said half the plot.
Okay.
Yeah,
sorry,
go for it.
So
Let's go for it.
Basically, he wants Bradley Cooper to bring someone back to life, and Bradley Cooper tries to do it. That's all I ended up. But
well, this plot sounds a lot like one of my favorite episodes of South Park is when they ripped on. Remember John Edwards?
Yes!
The guy.
Oh my God!
Crossing over with John Edwards, and when they did an episode of him, like, because with that guy, he was pretty much exposed for the same shit. He would have a group of people who said, "I'm someone with the letter D," and of course half the room put their hands up, and he'd be like, "Oh, maybe someone died." Everyone has their hands up, and when South Park did an episode of him, like the aliens came down, like, "Congratulations, John Edwards! Here's a trophy. You are the biggest douche in the universe."
Do you know what, Matt? That's really not far from how it is. Like, even at the beginning of the film, when they're at the carnival / circus, you get an inside look into all the, because it's set in like in the late 1930s, early 1940s, after the First World War and during the Second World War, and you see all the hidden ways that all these performers trick people and manipulate people into thinking that they got some sort of hidden talent or special ability that no one else has, and it was fascinating. It was very fascinating, and yeah, I highly recommend watching it. It was good. It was a good, solid film, and one of Bradley Cooper's best in the years. And the way he is from the start of the movie to the end of the movie, it's just like a complete change. And it was
That's really cool.
It was
all
great.
Right.
So,
I'm more intrigued to see this now.
Yeah.
The film's got a really interesting aesthetic about it. Guillermo del Toro.
His name.
He's a fantastic director. Yeah.
It's William in Spanish.
We'll just call him William then.
Bill.
Jesse, just for the Spider-Man fans out there, can you just tell us a little bit about Willem Dafoe's performance?
Why am I doing that for the Spider-Man fans? Is that
he's in Spider-Man? This is my chance for a TikTok clip.
Tell
me about
okay.
So
okay.
ready? Because they love Willem Dafoe right now. He's very viral on the internet. So ready? Jesse.
Okay, yeah.
Ready? Here's how we do it. Nightmare Alley, Bird. You just go tell me, Willem Dafoe, how is he in this?
He's good. He's really good. He's at the start of the movie. He's Willem Dafoe. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want from me?
A clip about a clip about him because he's relevant right now, like he's topical.
Yeah,
is that because
the magic's gone?
Is that because he's back as the Green Goblin in No Way Home or some shit?
Yeah, so he's trending in algorithms right now. People are searching him up a lot. So it would have been great to have a nice piece about that. But that's okay.
I don't really have much to say about his performance. Like, he was good, but like he wasn't like he was part of the first like third of the movie, and then he just disappears. So he's from the part he's in, he's good because he plays like he plays one of the carnival people, and he has a human being locked up at the bottom of this cellar that he feeds chickens to, and has people crowding around, and he throws a chicken down in this little arena thing, and has a human being come out and eat it, and they treat the human being as if it's an animal. It's really fucked up, and it's really fucking like kooky, but he plays it so well, and he's a good like kind of magician type that teaches Bradley Cooper a few things. But he's good. But Willem Dafoe's always good, whatever he does. So he has this really fucked up. Sorry, I'll just say this as well. He has this. There's this one scene where he has like all these really fucked up jars, like section of his tent where he's got all these jars on shelves filled with fetuses, and he has this really giant fucked up fetus with like a scar down its head. And it's got a giant head or whatever, and it's like a sort of like a symbol throughout the whole movie. Like, it turns up at the start and then it turns up at the end. It's like a symbol or whatever. But he was good. He was really good. I don't really have much to say about his performance except that he was good, and he was very convincing as like that.
Willem Dafoe is always good.
Experienced magician, trickster, carny type of guy who's bit off, and it does some pretty sus things. He does a lot of sus things. But yeah, so that's all I have to say about him. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it doesn't fit for a TikTok in relation to Spider-Man, but I.
In South Park when they made that joke and it was like Rob Schneider as a carrot. Well, it could be like Willem Dafoe as a potato, and I would watch it.
Fuck yeah. We've also already established you would do that for Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's a callback. Feel free to watch the previous episodes or listen to them, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking of previous episodes, you can check out our previous episodes on Spotify, on iTunes, on YouTube, because unfortunately that's it for us today here at Upcoming Attractions. Before I go, I would just like to emphasize that holy shit, Avengers of Justice, Fast Wars. This movie looks freaking terrible.
We should watch it.
Oh my god, the way they've painted Shawn Michaels' face, it's like a 3-year-old did it. Like, they haven't even properly covered his head. It's oh my god, these are some of the worst CGI I've ever seen.
I guess Shawn Michaels won't be breaking hearts anymore.
No. He's going to be, you know what he's going to be breaking? His bank account, because they could have paid him enough for this. Holy shit.
Jesus.
Oh, God. Anyways, guys, if you want to hear more from us here at Upcoming Attractions, be sure to check us out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. If you want to see some highlights, be sure to check out our Instagram at Upcoming Attractions or TikTok at Upcoming Attractions. Will you see a clip about Willem Dafoe and Nightmare Alley? Who knows? I've only got what I've got to work with, so we'll figure
Probably
something
not.
out, okay? All great.
It.
You're fine. Thank you for joining us here today. Ladies and gentlemen, we love you. As Rob McManus would say hi to Mum for me. I'm Matt, that's 80 and Jesse. Laters.